Yep, it's part two. Oh yes, I'm about to do a part two to this. Yes, 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 yes. I'm gonna do. Yes, I'm gonna do a part two to this. That's right. We're gonna do a part two to this. And soon as I ended my last live stream on part one, and I said, let me hang back and watch some YouTube, and then I found this gym, right? This gym showed up, and here's Professor Scott Galloway one more time, and Professor Scott Galloway said something that and I got two links in the description box, ladies and gentlemen. I got two links in the description box. So for the no dude, let's go ahead and play. Let's go ahead and play this real quick, so y'all can understand where I'm coming from. Let me put the overlay right here. So let me go ahead and play. No, you know what? And put the chat room to the side. No, that's right. That's right. Put this to the side, right here. So let's go ahead and play this real quick. This is from the videos called. Let me scroll down. It's also in the chat room, by the way. The real reason men voting for Trump, Scott Galloway. This is the 8-minute part of a video of a longer interview that was done a couple days ago, or a day or so ago. So for the no dude, here we go.
Chat the other day, 3 or 4 days ago, so 6 men in there, and I polled them. I said, who do you want to win the election? And 4 of them said Trump. My position, actually, which I've not really ever shared publicly, is that I see no great option.
Oh, perfect's not on the menu.
Yeah, I see no great option. Yeah. So I'm like, the things that, again, I think a lot about are the wars that are going on around the world. So I ask myself, who will stop the wars? And I think a little bit about the economy. And then also, from a selfish perspective, think about my ability to build businesses, to get visas in the US, and those kinds of things.
Yep.
And I also think about women's reproductive rights, because I think that's an issue that's quite close to my heart. But why are men choosing Trump?
So this is an unusual election in the sense that neither of these candidates, based on their metrics, has ever been elected before. We've never had it since maybe Roosevelt. Was it Roosevelt or Truman, actually? Have we had a president, an incumbent party, be reelected when they have less than 50% approval?
And he is right. That was 1948. Harry Truman ran for president when he got at least 30%, 35% of approval rating. And that was after when he said that he supported the Civil Rights Bill of 1947 that did not pass in Congress. Put a little historical context to that. And yes, President Truman was from the state of Missouri, which was pro Jim Crow. Let's keep it pushing.
So if Harris gets elected, it's almost a first-time occurrence that an incumbent administration this unpopular gets reelected. Trump never cracked 50% approval. No presidential candidate who has never been above 50% has ever been reelected. So whoever wins, it's an unprecedented election of someone who typically does not get reelected. In terms of men, what you've seen is young men are going more conservative, young women are going slightly more progressive. And that a lot of unfortunate ramifications, because again, it's another reason why young people are not getting together and mating. It's yet another reason not to date somebody. When I was your age, I was thinking about this when I was dating. For the life of me, if I went through every person I've dated in my 20s and 30s, I don't remember what their political affiliation was. I didn't care. We didn't talk about that. It was like, are you fun? I'm fun. Are you attracted to me? I'm not, like, let's go out, let's drink, let's see where this goes. We didn't talk about politics. So it's a shame, because now politics is now kind of a gender divide. So it's having social ramifications. I would argue that young men are not going to the Republican Party. They're actually less conservative, or people have this image of young men that their knuckles are dragging along the ground. They actually are almost as in favor of gender rights as young women. What I would argue is that they're leaving the Democratic Party, because if you go to the DNC, Democratic Party is.
Let me go ahead and interject on this real quick. Let me interject on this real quick, right? Yeah. I'm gonna blow myself up real quick. Let me interject here, right? I somewhat agree, but also don't somewhat agree. These guys want the house to burn down. They're willing to burn down the house, right? They're willing to burn down the house because, no, better yet, I'll put it in a better way. They're willing to submit themselves back into slavery, and I'm and in order to get the woman in check, because she can't, because shame, blame, and explain, because they don't have the power, no economic power, no social power, or no civic power to keep this woman in check. So therefore, they run to an outside force to do it for them. But you know what? I tell you what. I tell you what. I'm gonna let it go play, because something at the end of this video he said, and there's another video that Professor Scott Galloway said, and it is proving my point. The more he talks, the more it proves my point. So let me go ahead and get down to here. I'm gonna, what's going on, Mr. DJ Music? We're gonna play it. We're gonna continue this.
His website. There's a section that says who we serve. Click, and it says these are the constituents in America that we serve, that we advocate for, and it lists 16 demographic groups ranging from Asians and Pacific Islanders, the disabled, seniors, Black Americans, veterans. It goes through all of these groups, and I tried to add it up, and I think it adds up to 76% of the U.S. population. But similar to kind of the DEI apparatus on campus now, or on university campuses, when you're purposely advocating and trying to advantage 76% of the population, you're not advantaging 76% of the population or advocating for them. You're discriminating against the 24%. And that 24% are squarely one group. It's young men. And if you look at the Democratic National Convention, it was made of demographic groups, but not one mentioned the group that has fallen furthest, fastest in the United States, and that's young men.
And he is absolutely correct. Professor Scott Galloway is absolutely correct. I've been saying this for years, what is really the problem, right? I've been saying this is really is the problem, because look at the housing market. Big J, you don't know what you're talking about. I've been saying this when I was in my 20s. The reason why it was so hard for me to get a house, because my wages wouldn't match the funds to get a down payment, and also to get the insurance to the house. And that's why a lot of us are called broke and dusty and everything else. And because there was a housing market, well, nobody is going to get less. Nobody is going to date or marry a broke ass man, especially if he don't have no house. He just have an apartment somewhere. And most of these apartments that are affordable are usually in crime-ridden areas. So how can a woman? So how can somebody meet a woman, get married, and start creating a family? You can't create a family with a man who have roommates. And I'm glad, and this been going on for 20 years. Now I'm in my 40s now. This been going on for 20 years. People now finally realize what is the problem. Reason why though a lot of the heterosexual men are falling and dropping, and they going to these podcasts, masculinity channels. But like I said, stay tuned to the end of that video what he just put up, because it's something that he said at the end. I'm gonna say, ha ha. Big J been proven right about these niggas in this godforsaken place, because he mentioned the black manosphere, not just the manosphere. He mentioned specifically by race. But we gonna, well, hold on. I want y'all to wait for that. Come on, I'm about to wait. We're gonna wait for this one.
Families and young men feel, right? We don't have opioid or a homeless crisis in the United States. We have a male opioid and a male homeless crisis. 3 out of 4 opioid addicts, 3 out of 4 homeless people are men, right? 3 times as likely to kill themselves, 12 times as likely to be incarcerated. Women under the age of 30 are now making more money than men. More single women own homes than single men. By the way, we should never do anything to get in the way of that. That's a remarkable victory for us. Young men and their families feel that these young men are really struggling, and they are not seen by the Democratic Party. Because the Democratic Party, I would argue that our big failure over the last 20 years is we've become sort of these self-appointed cops of social justice.
And he's right about that. He's right. Anybody can go look at the higher education numbers among men versus that of women. I remember I was in university. I noticed that there was a lot more women than there were men. And that does, if men are supposed to be, if we supposed to live in a patriarchal society, right? If you're supposed to live in a patriarchal society, and then the women have these degrees and men are not having these degrees, and we're taught that men are supposed to be protectors and providers, then how can a man be a protector provider when he doesn't have the highest degrees, and he's not the majority when it comes to higher education? Because higher education gives you what? More access to the world, wealth, bigger circles of people, a wide range of activities, networks outside of one's own community. Men are nothing if they don't have no form of of communal. Men are nothing without society, without any type of network.
And have tried to lecture the nation on what is the right social policy or behaviors, and that America has pretty squarely rejected this. The example I use is the University of Michigan, an amazing university, has invested $150 million in DEI, social policy, and the number of complaints about racism is up 30-fold. The sentiment, the feeling about America has all gone down. And so the Democrats have decided we're about social policy as opposed to the economic policies that are actually going to impact you. And a large part of America has sort of rejected it. Young men do not feel seen by the Democratic Party. And it's not only just young men, but it's their families. So I would argue it's not so much that they're moving to the Republican Party as they're moving away from the Democratic Party. But there's just to use this overused term, young men do not feel seen by the Democratic.
I somewhat disagree on that part. It's not just the Democratic Party. That's too political. A lot of young men are removing themselves from social activity. A lot of men are removing themselves from. When I say social activity, I mean like things that are done in the community, things that are, things that for a prime example, bar mitzvahs, things like And what I'm saying is not just in black community. I'm talking about in general. I mean, things that the rites of passages, the rites of passage. We don't want to tend those things. We kind of melt ourselves in the back, and so forth, because of the lack of economics and the lack of upward mobility, that goes along with rights the rites of passage.
It's like you're fighting for everyone except for me. And let's be honest, my group is not doing well. The group that has ascended the fastest globally is women. Twice as many women in the last 30 years elected to some form of parliament. More women globally now are seeking tertiary education than men. By the way, again, a huge victory for all of us. Fantastic. But there's this analogy that Chris, the podcast that kind of reminds me a little bit of you, uses, and he calls it the high heels effect. And that is 50% of women say that they won't date someone who's shorter than them. I bet it's more like 80%. It's just an embarrassing thing to say. And it's very instinctual because women at some point are more vulnerable because of pregnancy and raising kids. And they want someone who instinctively they feel could physically protect them. So they tend to be not attracted to a man shorter than them. Metaphorically, women are getting taller and taller each year, making more money, more college attendance. They're just killing it. More and more people elected to positions of power and influence. Men are getting shorter and shorter. So in sum, we've talked about this. Women mate socioeconomically horizontally and up, men horizontally and down. The pool of horizontal and up among men is smaller. And when men don't have the prospect of a romantic relationship, they come off the rails. Women oftentimes will reinvest that energy in friendships and work. Men.
And this is what I was trying to tell Bomb Cherry, and people on that channel over there about male nature and female nature. What Scott Galloway just described is female nature and male nature. This is a prime example when the high. I'm glad he said the high heel thing, right? And no, this is what male nature and female nature is, and I will drop the link. I will drop the link, Mr. DJ Music, in a minute. But I got to do this real quick. I got to do this. So just hang on for a minute, because I got another clip to play after this.
Men reinvest that energy in vaping and video games. I mean, men without the prospect of a romantic relationship. I mean, look at the most violent, unstable places in the world. They all have a preponderance of things, and that is a bunch of men with very little economic or romantic opportunities.
Right. Now, I did a video earlier this year. It was called when I was talking about the nations of North Africa and in the Middle East and parts of Central Asia, right? They have one thing in common, right? I did a video and BGS came on my channel and tried to chin check me. No, Negro. Any nation where and I'm glad Professor Scott, because somebody else said it, and I looked into it. Anytime when you have a nation that practice permitted permigamy, a man marrying more and more women, there's always coups, there's always civil wars, there's always revolutions. And let me say it, and let me add on to another thing here. If you go back in time, say I'm a historian, right? Anybody can go to the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the Russian Civil War that came after the Russian Revolution, and the Spanish Civil War of 1935 into 36. They all have one thing in common. Men who are in discontent. The manosphere, SYSBM, are men who are in discontent. And nobody ain't seeing, like even in Germany, post-war, the interwar period of Germany, a lot of men was feeling discontent. That's why you see the rise of dictatorships in the 1920s and 30s, especially especially in Italy, post World War One. And I wish people would actually think that what's really going on here. The more men, more young men are in discontent, the more violence and more extreme that population will become. That's why you see all these mass shootings, and nobody want to talk about what's the really cause of the mass shootings that we have. It's primarily lonely single men. But anyway, let's keep it moving.
And so you have a cohort of not only young men, but families that are upset and angry about this cohort, maybe unfairly expectant around what they should expect from the American economy, but they're not doing well. And they feel seen by the Republican Party and Trump, who are pushing back on many of these social policies, that the snake is eating its own tail, that it's gone so far to the progressive that at the end of the day, it's no longer promoting the rights of non-whites, for example. 60 years ago, 12 black people at Princeton, Harvard, and Yale, that's a problem. 2/3 of Harvard's freshman class now identifies as non-white. And somehow a non-white male that's not making as much money, that's more inclined to be an addict or gambling, that owns fewer homes, somehow I'm still the enemy. I'm still like, I've been told by media that I'm kind of should have collective guilt because of the privilege my dad and my granddad received. So there's I think, justifiable anger and a feeling that the Democratic Party has really moved away from young men.
Okay, we're gonna go to the other video. Yeah, we're gonna go to this video right here. Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. We're here. Okay.
So,
why is that?
So look, this election will largely be seen as a referendum on women's rights, I think, but it may be won based on which party can paint a more masculinity and attracts more young male voters. If you look at what's happening, men are going more conservative. But I think if you dig a little bit deeper, you find that young men are very responsive or accepting or supportive of gender rights. They're not naturally conservative. What I think's happened, I think they're moving away from the Democratic Party. That is, if you go to the dnc.org website, it has a section called Who We Serve, and it lists 16 demographic groups ranging from veterans to seniors.
Okay, wait, hold on. We're gonna skip all this because he said this before, but let me go right to the 1 minute and 28 seconds. He says something that he said this years ago, but now though it's coming true.
When you think about what resonates and how into messaging, what do they need to hear?
Well, that they feel seen. Several programs.
I don't even know what that means, Scott. Like, I'm a Gen Xer. I didn't want to be seen because usually I was going to be hit. So I didn't have the same need to be seen that these guys do. What do they want?
Yeah, something tells me you do more hitting than being hit. But anyways, Chris, look, vocational programming. More freshman seats at colleges, a recognition that young families are struggling, investments in industries that used to have more jobs that were an on-ramp for the middle class without a college degree, wood shop, metal shop, schools that aren't as biased against young men. I think there's just essentially acknowledging that young men are struggling and that there should be some more programs around keeping men in young men's lives. But if you were to go into a morgue and find 5 people who had died by suicide, and 4 of the 5 were of any special interest group, we'd weigh in with programs, we'd weigh in with services. But because of the privilege you and I recognized, we're holding 19-year-olds and not providing them with the services and, quite frankly, the attention they need, facing some of the really uphill battles they are facing. And the numbers are staggering. And you know who's leading this dialogue, Chris? Mothers. This is what you hear from a single mother with 2 daughters and 1 son. And I get these emails every day. One daughter's at Penn, the other's at Chicago and PR. My son is in the basement vaping and playing video games. People feel this across America, and Trump, to his credit, tried to embrace the manosphere sooner.
Whoa, stop. What did he did? What did Professor say? Wait. Let me take down the chat. Let me bring this up. We're gonna rewind what he just said, right? Because I'm gonna prove this tomorrow or so. Let's replay that again. Trump did what? Trump embraced who?
Video games. People across America, and Trump, to his credit, tried to embrace the manosphere sooner.
Trump embraced the manosphere. Am I the only one who's hearing that? Am I the only one who's hearing that? He embraced the manosphere. Now, if I'm seeing this, and if the professor sees this, how come y'all don't see it? Because I've been saying that for years. I did a live stream 8 years ago. I said, black men, you better become politically active before they do. I did a live stream. I did a video on that. I did a 3-part series on that. And a lot of you niggas did not like what I said. Yeah, I said it. A lot of you Negroes did not like what I said. Because nobody taught y'all about having a civic culture. Y'all want to shame, blame, and explain. But let me go ahead and repeat and rewind this again, so y'all can understand what he's saying. And let me make sure I'm gonna increase the volume so y'all can hear it.
People feel this across America, and Trump, to his credit, tried to embrace the manosphere sooner, and now he's out there and saying this is about protection and service. I'm a football coach. They got the team together when we heard the LGBTQ community was coming under fire and being bullied, and I rallied a group of men. Why? Because men's first instinct should be to protect. He protected the nation, served for 24 years, and that's what men do. But I do think this is, if you will, a battle over young men right now.
But I'll tell you, even when you say it, like, my spidey sense starts to go. Like when you're saying men are supposed to protect, in my mind, it's like, uh-oh, they're coming. You know, people, what do you say, women don't protect? And, you know, this is toxic masculinity. And the whole system has been set up for these same guys that you're saying we should feel bad about. And it's like, what about everybody else? It's easiest for these guys that you're saying are really their own problem.
Look, the far right has a vision of masculinity that, quite frankly, is just not aspirational. It's be coarse, it's be cruel, it's be, quite frankly, a little bit misogynistic. The far left's vision of masculinity is be more like a woman. And that doesn't work either. There are distinct issues in masculinity and young men. Young men have fought and won our wars. Young men have built some of the most amazing structures in the world. If our women aren't going to flourish, our country's not going to flourish if young men are flailing, are floundering. And who wants more young, economically and emotionally viable men? Women. How many times have we heard, I know all of these amazing women who are intelligent, smart, have their act together, but they can't find a man. Well, yeah, they can find a man. They just can't find a man they want to date. Men made socioeconomically, horizontally and down, women horizontally and up. And when the pool of horizontal and up keeps shrinking, there's less household formation, there's more loneliness. 60% of able-bodied Americans 30 to 34, 40 years ago had one child in their house. It's dropped to 27% because, one, people don't have the money to have kids, and two, they're having trouble finding a viable partner.
Hey, thanks for watching.
And I'm glad somebody else says something that I've been saying for a very, very, very long time. So I'm waiting for Mr. DJ News to come on board. You know, if you come aboard, you know, I'm just saying, yeah. It proved my point. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't know if Mr. DJ News is going to come back on here or not because I gave him the link, but I said this in part one, right? And I'm going to repeat myself in part two and shout out to the China White. China White says something. You know what? You know what though? Let me say a shout out to China White. I don't always get along with China White, but China White says something that needs to be said, right? You know, I might tag her in this video, her in her live stream, and she said, "Y'all voted for a convicted felon, y'all, but yet the same people that cheerlead and voted for a convicted felon made YouTube videos complaining about Pookie and Ray Ray." And I'm sitting there like, she's right. You Negroes get online talking about Pookie and Ray Ray. Y'all talking about, oh man, she got with a Tyrone, and then she said, okay, well, why did y'all vote for a Tyrone? I'm paraphrasing. So you're against a Tyrone, but then y'all vote for a white man who is a Tyrone, which tells me, and she is correct by this, because the reason why y'all voted for him was because he's getting the kitty cat and the money. But if Donald Trump was just some Negro in the hood, y'all would look down on Donald Trump. Yeah, I said it. If Donald Trump was one of you Negroes in the hood, in the inner city of Chicago, in somewhere in New York, somewhere in the Fifth Ward, Third Ward of Houston, Sunnyside area, Houston, y'all would look down on Donald Trump. But because he had the money, because he got all these women, got all these wives. Hold on, who had entered into okay, Mr. DJ Music. What's going on with you?
Hey, what's up there, Big J? Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah. Hold on, you put it side by
Man,
side. Yeah.
you know, I was listening to you, and actually, I was over on the listening to China White stream earlier. Is she right? I dare I say I don't agree with her on a lot of things she says, but she was right about this, Big J. Our target was in the wrong. We was focusing on the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand what I'm saying, we was in the right place, but we was at the wrong line. And you know, as you was playing the Dr. Galloway video, I was thinking to myself, you know, maybe if we'd have paid attention to this, and because it wasn't the fact that it wasn't about Trump, it was about us trying to build up the women the way that we were, and these guys felt displaced, and that's what caused the red wave.
Mm-hmm. And because go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I
You
think, you know, sometimes we look at each other and say, you know, the right idea is to try and uplift the women and build them up, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in this case, in this election, we were way off the mark. We were thinking it was all about uplifting the women and making sure that equality was the thing, and we left out a whole demographic, and it cost us.
Mm-hmm.
It cost us everything, because you have to be honest with you. Think about Pennsylvania. Think about in some of the states like Georgia, where the black vote was most important. They say that black men was the primary reason, and a lot of folks are going to say, well, you know, the black men are to blame for this. No. Took more than us. Got to start looking at these young white men, the original manosphere.
Well, yeah, because like those same white men voted for Obama twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming of age, they was voting for Obama. Then all of a sudden, you know, they went to Trump. You know, same states like Wisconsin and Michigan.
Yeah, because they started feeling displaced. It seems to me, from listening to this video and a few other videos that some folks have sent me, it now it makes sense. We were saying, these guys are just complaining. Stand up, be a man, and maybe that was the wrong approach to take. So I think that's what cost us.
In
We under
in
we underestimated the power of the demographic of 30 and under.
Right, because the thing is, because I heard somewhere, I heard this last night, right, early this morning when I was at work, and I'm pumped up with caffeine. That's why I'm still up, by the
Oh,
way.
no worries. No,
Because
night.
I got to go in on this topic though. This is so. So the thing is though, somebody said, well, Trump won 21% of black men on the exit poll.
Hmm.
Then I was listening to the radio because I was driving around last night, and somebody went on Fox News. It was a young guy saying, "Well, Elon Musk's appearance with Donald Trump on Joe Rogan convinced me to vote for Trump." Now I'm hearing this. I'm like, wait a minute, Joe Rogan. Well, that's where the mandatory dudes meet up at.
Yeah.
Well, like the white ones do. I mean, your Fresh and Fits and your
Yeah. Right.
your Andrew
Yeah.
Tate's,
Exactly. Right.
And I'm like, and you just pearly things. And I'm sitting there like, well, like y'all, I just, yeah. So
Right. I hate to say it, but what got through to these guys was the Nick Fuentes and the Charlie Kirklands and the Just Pearly things and all that. Again, to me, from listening to the election and watching now the reaction to people are saying that now we're really finding the real reason. I think I don't want to give the Trump campaign any credit, but I think you know they did exactly what they did. They sat back and allowed the Democrats to say, "Listen, it's bad to be masculine. It's okay to be how do you say um, it's not good to it's not good it's not bad to disagree with women. Let women have their way." And there's a lot of men that's not ready to let that idea go. Just like with Hillary Clinton and just like with uh, uh, Vice President Harris. There was no way, from what I've been hearing in the last 24 hours, no matter what color the woman was, they was not going to beat Donald Trump. Not in
mm-hmm.
not in this election. It was not. It was. It's about money, power, prestige, and that right to be white. That's what Donald Trump preserved with this victory. It spoke for itself. In places where there's no way that Donald Trump should have won, he won.
Like he had no business winning. He had no
Right.
business winning Michigan
Right.
in Wisconsin.
Right. Or like
You
in
know,
I don't know if you saw the post with Uncle Luke. He was actually he was doing a live stream and he posted out there in Dade County. Dade County is majority Latino, right?
mm-hmm.
Majority of Dade County voted for Trump. Is that not voting against your best interest? Did you not hear Trump say that he's going to do some massive deportations? Don't you not think in a county that's heavily populated by the Hispanic population and the immigrant population, that's not going to be a focal point for them?
Right. But they all ignoring that just on the basis because they're mad at their own women.
Right.
And I was watching. Now there's one group I will say I could understand, like the Arab community, like
Hmm.
Dearborn, Michigan, because of the Israeli war against Gaza. I kind of see why
Yeah.
they had a problem,
Yeah.
right? Because it makes sense.
That's explainable though.
Yeah,
Right.
it can be explained, right? Because the Arab, and it's not just the men. Women are angry at Kamala,
Yes.
the Biden administration.
So let me
For
ask you, in your honest opinion, do you think this run up for the presidency? Do you think honestly? Do you think they pushed women too hard?
push two women to do too hard to do what?
to be in power? Do you think that they was by? Do you think they were shaming men? Do you think the Democratic Party was shaming men so much so that they voted against their best interest just because?
It's like what I said last week on Talk Real Solutions. I said what Obama did. Obama should not be the person who was said that. It should have been somebody else.
Mm.
I think, and I said this, and I made that prediction, and it came true. When Obama said that, all I saw was videos of black men going all off the rails, right? And I'm like, oh my God, he just started a firestorm saying that, right? Trying to check these men for being. I know why Obama's saying, because he sees people like Comey Brown. Everybody know who Comey Brown is.
Right, right.
Everybody knows who. Anton Dan's been on Dr. Phil. Everybody see all this, right? Everybody see all these podcasts. People that he may have known being on these podcasts saying all that SBE crap, right? Shame, blame, explain crap.
Hmm.
So I think though he saw that as an attack on women. So he said what he said, and I believe it backfired, because he made it, for him to say it, everybody's hearing it. Now
Well,
it was some government official nobody knows, or somebody in the campaign, nobody heard. They would just sit there and ignore it. But since he said it, it just put a spotlight on black men, and a lot of black men got emotional.
so you think that their emotions pushed black men over the edge to vote for Trump? That was
Uh,
one of that was the straw that broke the camel's back for them, so to speak.
right. In my opinion, I believe that would happen. I believe that push at least 3,000, 5,000 men, voters, over the edge.
Right. So now that we're in this place, Big J, because I like you, I haven't slept any much, but this is really the first outside person that I've talked to about the election outside of my family. So asking you outside of that, so what do you where do we go from here, man? What's next for the United States? What do you think?
Um, there's gonna be a lot of I told you so's, right? Um, since quantified immunity is gonna be a law soon, within the next 6 months, I expect a lot of innocent black men getting stopped and and deleted. Expect a lot of black men being pulled over and something happened to him.
So
And and, and,
basically,
and
a
go,
minor
go ahead.
traffic, a minor traffic scene is going to turn into a crime scene, crime
Right.
investigation.
Right, and then the FBI. I don't know if you know about. I don't know if you read Project 47 and
Yes,
Project 2025, where
I
where,
have.
where they want to get rid of. They want to give the local police quantified immunity.
Yes,
So
yes, I saw that.
so you can't sue the police,
Right.
and you can't investigate the police. The FBI is going to be hand strong. The FBI and any other government policing agency is not going to investigate the wrongdoing of the local police.
Okay. Also, Big J, on now that you're talking about this, okay, Project 2025 and Trump and Agenda 47, both of them want to obliterate the Department of Education. What is that going to do for black men now?
Oh,
They're already complaining about it. So where do black men get their education from now?
you tell me. I just I see it's sad because I live in a state, right, where they spent more money. Like, okay, Texas. Okay, you can take Texas, right?
Hmm.
My home state. It costs at least $4,000 to $7,000 to educate from kindergarten to 12th grade to senior in high school. That's $4,000 spent on a yearly basis, annual. Now to lock you up, it's 75K. Now, if you go to Mississippi, it's a lot more than 75K. You go to Florida, it's about at least 100K
Hmm.
to lock you up. Anybody can go to any of the old Confederacy. It's the same level. And look how black people are in the South. Low wage jobs, low wage, low health insurance.
So is that why is that why Trump said the immigrants are taking the black jobs?
That whole black jobs thing in my thing, I think that was a diversionary tactic.
Mm-hmm.
So black people like Phil the Advice show and them will look at that
Look at
Hispanic
the other.
and that Asian as the enemy rather than looking at the whole system itself.
Good point. Good point. But again, there's so many things like you said that when you brought up Project 2025. So I guess these young men that voted for Trump, I guess they didn't look at the detriment that a Trump presidency will actually bring to them.
Right. And I think also the problem is how Kamala became the vice presidential candidate, right?
Hmm.
Because if you go back four years ago, she already quit the race, right? She quit before the primary even started because she was everybody in the campaign quit because she was not a good campaigner and she was so there was a lot of problems, a lot of personal tension inside her campaign. So anyway, despite all that, right?
Hmm.
The sorority groups, the women's sorority groups that Brown George Brown University, the university she attended, Spelman, those all these ACBUs, sorority groups, and even outside of the ACBUs, actually lobbied Joe Biden to pick a
So who do you think?
woman,
Right?
especially a woman of color.
Who do you think instead of I know hindsight is 2020 now, and of course we saw the Democratic Party swinging for the fences with this choice. A lot of people had of course ideas of what the Democrats did was wrong and it was going to backfire. And I guess again hindsight's 2020. So let me ask you, Big J, who do you think that should have been? You think Gavin Newsom would have been a better choice?
Um, Gavin would have been a better choice because one thing I do notice is that Trump wins against women. He never defeated a man. I
Hmm.
do notice that. I do notice that because I want you to think back the first time Trump ran for president, and I'm not talking about 2016. Trump ran against Ross Perot of the Reform Party.
Yeah, that's when he backed. I think he gave money to one of was it the Clinton campaign or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, yes,
yeah, so like Ross Perot defeated him in 2000, or no, I mean, no, Patrick Buchanan
right. Buchanan is yes,
defeated Trump in 2000 in the year 2000. So anytime he runs against a man, he loses. But when he ran against Biden, he lost. Um, so with Kamala and Hillary, all he did he ran against women and that's how though he won because because he all he does is he makes insults and you know how I don't want to sound sexist or anything, but women are not going to fight back against
and,
against a man who's being belligerent and name calling.
yeah.
You know, yeah.
Big J. So
So
what we do about that now? Okay, so me and like you. Okay, so sometimes you say what you have to say to women, but me, I'll hold back. That's just not who I am. But in this case, we see women, not only white women, but black women. I mean, particularly, we know both one. I know you know who Michi X is. Am I correct?
you're right.
I mean, she was as far as the YouTube streets was concerned, she was a staunch opponent of Vice President Harris. But in the same cusp of that, to hear what Trump said, the things that about women, what they've done for women. So how do you reconcile that? And still be a and still be a protector of women. So I don't think no woman can come up to me now when I say I could grab you by the pussy if I want to. You can't be mad about it because Trump did it. You can't say I'm misogynistic. You can't use that against me now as a weapon to say because you had a chance to prove me right and him wrong, but you proved him right and me wrong for being a protector of women and saying what Trump said was wrong about y'all. What Trump me of your body, that's wrong. You basically women, black women, white women, Hispanic women, all of y'all gave that power back to him. So how do women reconcile with that up on these panels when somebody
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think though part of it is when it comes to Trump himself, I think part of that is the that primal for lack of a better word, is that primal is like, okay, if somebody's going to tear down, if there's barbarians at the gate, right? And they're about to knock down this wall. Who would I, and I'm only, who I think though is going to be the best one, the best odds to help me survive this onslaught. Well, it's that brute, and Donald Trump's that brute versus the woman who's 5'5",
yeah.
and he's
I,
probably 6 feet something, So
right.
I think it's that image in the head, in some people, some of the population, especially I'm talking about women. That is, I think that's why they voted for Trump over one of their own, because they view that barbarians at the gate mentality. Uh, I can't reconcile that. I don't. That's the best I can do to reconcile that. I don't know. I really don't know. I wish I was inside their heads and on how they, on how they think, or the thinking process of why would a woman vote for somebody who's a blatant sexist and somebody who made a lot of gross, vulgar comments towards women on a regular basis.
Fact.
So,
Fact. But,
so yeah.
but again, I mean, you see and I see that we've preached to the choir. I mean, I don't know how long you've been talking about the election, and I know I've been talking about it for a while. And it seems to me, Big J, that basically all our talking has been in vain.
It has, and I shrugged my shoulders last night, like, you know, um, there was a part of me believing that maybe there was maybe one state has not counted all the votes, and they're just waiting for
Yeah.
the overseas votes, and all of that. So, um, yeah. That was gonna be the holdout vote, and now I'm looking at the numbers and like, nah, it's impossible. Even if you include all the overseas ballots.
It's adversely. I stopped really. I mean, I was catching glimpses of it, but I think around 9 o'clock, 9:30, because by that time, of course, the polls in California had long closed. So that's what me and my family was here, and we was thinking, well, okay, well, we still got a shot with California, but around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it was like, nah, shoot, might as well call it a night, folks. Let's go and watch something else.
Well, because as soon as I knew it was over when Pennsylvania went,
Yeah.
and then North Carolina. Now I'm looking at the race in North Carolina, right? The Democrats won both the governor's seat and the lieutenant governor's seat. Democrats won those two seats,
Yes.
but she lost. So I'm sitting like, wait a minute. If she would have won North Carolina along with Georgia, even if she would have lost Michigan and Wisconsin, she would have wrapped this. If she would have won Georgia and South and North Carolina, we would even be having this conversation now.
Right. But they're Big Jake. There go the idea of voting completely down ballot and not just checking off all the candidates. Because they can't say that that folks just went and voted just strictly for one party, because you had two Democrats win on the same ticket, and
Mm,
the president lost. So people were voting their best, what they thought was their best interest.
right.
That's just by you pointing that out. That's what that proved.
And the thing was, she should have stayed around um in Northern Carolina. She should have stayed around Georgia. And the problem is, and I also think the problem was because everybody was hurting because of Hurricane Helene and those Hurricane Helene. She was spending too much time with those celebrities in Atlanta
Do you
rather
think
than.
that backfired as well, Big J? That she didn't spend enough time in so-called battleground states. Do you think she spent too much time in Pennsylvania instead of North Carolina?
Yeah. Because Pennsylvania was the site of the first attempt on Donald Trump's life.
Hmm.
So I think that attempt on his life played a role on why he won Pennsylvania, why those 19 electoral votes went to him. But if she would have went to North Carolina and stayed in North Carolina, talked to the people who was victims of Hurricane Helene, and went to Georgia, outside of Atlanta. I'm saying stop being in Atlanta. If she would went to Savannah or Macon, cities like Macon, Savannah, Washington, Georgia. What's that? On the other side of Georgia, I forgot the other town going into Mississippi. If she would have, no, not I'm Alabama. If she would have went along there, she probably would have pick up some more votes. But no, she went to stay up in Atlanta
Yeah.
and be along with the celebrities, and having all these celebrities around like that, it doesn't make her look authentic. It looked like a Hollywood show. It looked
Yeah.
like a Hollywood, a Hollywood production.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. Again, hindsight is 2020 on a lot of things at Big J. But I think, to me personally, I don't think there's nothing that Vice President Harris could have done to win. I don't think, well, two things. I don't think America was ready for a woman as president. Damn sure don't think that they was ready for a black woman. I don't think there's nothing that she could have done. No amount of campaigning, no amount of anything, because it's too many places. Again, like I said, Big J, that Trump shouldn't have won, but he did win. And just for you point not to be, for folks to be voting down ballot as they have in a lot of states, Democrats did win, but she didn't win. You can't say that she didn't win of her say that she didn't win because of her policies. You can't say that the woman is uneducated. So what else is there left? And it boils down to one thing, two things. She's black. She's a woman. Remember that scene in what's the movie? Trading Places, the bathroom scene when Eddie Murphy was smoking the
Mm,
joint. Remember that scene?
yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't see that movie in a long time.
right,
Yeah, but I know what you're talking
right,
about. Yeah.
right. But I don't need to say it, but you know what I'm saying. Do you think America was going to let that happen?
A part of me would agree with you. Um, but there was some mistakes that she made that like picking the wrong vice president. That Waltz was nobody was going to. It was bad enough that we got rid of Biden. Biden is this old white man, right? And then she gonna turn around and pick another old white man.
Yeah, I
It,
heard
it
I heard somebody describe him as Don Rickles. Who was going to take him seriously?
right. And my thing
My
was
thing was,
okay. Oh, I'm hearing feedback. But my thing was this though. If she would have picked Mark Kelly, the astronaut, Mark Kelly, who served, who was an astronaut, He's been on the space shuttle, all that. I think he would have pulled he would have pulled Nevada and and Arizona into the Democratic column. And plus him being an astronaut, that would appeal to more people who were um to men,
Yeah.
based on his job, and I think that he would pull that. And plus, though, him being a Texan, because he came from Texas, because NASA shit is right here, right?
Yeah.
So I think though it would he would have some more appeal in that way. But here, but we going from one white dude to her, and then picking another white dude, an old white dude, as a running mate. I don't think people was like, nah, we don't need another Joe Biden,
Right.
around. So I mean, like that image. I'm saying the image. I'm not saying Walsh is Joe Biden, but I'm talking about the image itself. So
Yeah.
if she would have picked Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, well, I think though he would have swayed at least 1 million
Yeah,
votes.
yeah. That that's a valid point there. Because Pennsylvania was a battleground state, and you're right about that. But again, where's the coach from? Isn't he from Michigan?
The coach,
Wisconsin. Yeah, Wisconsin. What's his name? It's our vice president guy. Was he from Wisconsin?
no, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
I mean, again, hindsight being 2020, we can. It's easy to point out what we think is her mistakes, and I agree with you 100%. Me, I would have taken it all the way back to the point of to once the referendum of Joe Biden was shown to the public that during that first debate with him and Trump. Okay, let's we got to do something here. So let's choose Gavin Newsom and the gentleman that you just mentioned from Pennsylvania, and I think that would have been a winning ticket.
yeah, because Gavin, even though I don't like Gavin Newsom, but Gavin would have had a better, Gavin would have flirted with the women. He would
Yeah,
he, he
he would have brought the Ronald Reagan effect to it, the Hollywood
right.
Ronald Reagan
Right,
effect.
that
Right.
polished. He brought that polished look. I'm the new kid on the block. I ain't served one day in Washington. Because he never been in Washington. He never served in Congress or House of Representatives. He always
Right.
been in California, in state
Right.
level.
Right.
So he can look at the new kid on the block. He'll prance around. He'll flirt. He'll do all this. He had to wink and a smile, and he can swoon the voters.
Right.
So
I
you know
agree with you. I think for the aesthetics of it, and again, I'm gonna say this anytime I speak on it. The hindsight being 2020 is because could there have been some different things that the Harris campaign should have done, of course, and of course, we're gonna hear all the pundits and all the news folks recapping on it. So for the next week and a half or so. But my biggest thing was. What's now? And going back to V-Dub comment there, Big J, before I get out of here, man, you're absolutely right. I forgot about that buffoon, Mark Robinson.
yeah. I'll listen to his concession speech
Yeah.
a few hours ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he talking about God is this, God is that.
Yeah.
Referencing the Bible, nigga. You was on a porn site, and you know what? I actually went on that porn site and saw him over there. I actually went over there to the porn site and saw him over there.
Because
you go have to dig to find him. You got to
Right.
dig deep to find. I forgot. I think it was page 616 on that porn site to find him.
right. So classic example. When you put something on the internet, it's there forever.
Right, man. I'm like, man, you couldn't go back and take that
Nope.
down.
No, you can't delete comments. Only the site holder can delete the comments.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all visited porn sites, and you list out. Sometimes you might go to the comments. You look down there. Some of them been there since 2008, 2009, 2010.
Yeah. Like you probably all forgot about it. Like, oh yeah, she looked good. Yeah, and you forgot all about it. And then years later, 20 years later, it's coming right back, come back to haunt you.
Right. Oh, they saying you? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, Big J, man, I appreciate you having me up here, brother, man. I shared the stream. Listen, it's going to be an uphill battle to believe that Donald Trump, the people have spoken. So there's nothing we can do to change it. We can't sit back now and say, well, complain about the things that's going to happen to us, because you folks, I didn't. I don't know if you did or not, but I know personally, I did not cast my vote for Donald Trump.
I sure didn't. I sure damn didn't. I voted for Kamala, and that was and that was a hard decision for me to make, because I was going to vote for Chase Oliver, the person who I interviewed, and I said, no. I got to defeat Trump. Damn it, you got. So I cast my vote for her, and and having said that, I'm gonna attend the local Democratic Party meetings. Oh, it's gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be some finger pointing. It's gonna be some.
A whole lot of Negro splaining. It's gonna have to. It's gonna have to be.
Yeah.
A whole lot of people that's gonna try and make it come up with 50, 11 excuses of why the Harris campaign lost, and of course they're gonna point out that because she was a woman or because of this. But the bottom line to it is, it's just my personal opinion. I don't think that America as a whole, because we are men, we are misogynistic. I think that's number one. And number two, white America is not ready to have a black woman telling them what to do, or a woman of color. They ain't ready for that yet.
I was, I'm watching the election between Ted Cruz and the brother, right? I've got his name now. Allred. I thought Allred. It looked like Allred was going to whoop his ass, right? And I'm like, okay, going against Ted Cruz should have been easy. That should have been an easy win. Everybody remember the ice storm down here in Texas when he went to Cancun and abandoned everybody, right? He abandoned everybody. Went to the plane, went to Cancun. Everybody was here freezing. The whole state of Texas had no power, and that's why some people, family member, lost their lives.
And he skipped out to Cancun.
My family lost their life. One of my family members got sick, and then she went downhill and eventually died as a result of that ice storm, right? Everybody is pissed off at Ted Cruz over that, right?
Right.
And I'm like, well, how in the hell did he got off? Ted Cruz is not liked by nobody.
Nobody. A lot of
even Republicans can't stand Ted Cruz.
Don't like him. So I don't know a lot of these folks. I guess that's why so many people kept quiet and said, "Hey, if he got a chance at Trump, tried a chance of getting in office, the last thing I want to be is on his hit list." And y'all know he has one. And you're right there. Whoever said that, remember Raskin said he has a few things up his sleeve. So whatever you got up your sleeve, Raskin, time to pull it out.
Raskin, it's all cap now. I'm sorry, you can't overturn this now. What do you got? What are you gonna do? Because Raskin is congressman of Maryland.
Yeah.
What do you got? What are you gonna do? Sit there and tell people? And I'm gonna say something. The reason why I think Colin Allred lost, I'm gonna tell you why. That's a black man. Now I know people will say, "Well, he's mixed," but I know he's mixed. But let hear me out. If you look at him, he looks like a black man. Okay, that's a black man with a white wife. Because in the campaign commercial, this white woman standing right around the kitchen with him. You know that. You know in Texas, that's not
standard issue, Big J.
Like in East Texas, in North Texas, that's not going to fly. Now East Texas, that's Klan land.
See,
anything
I don't know about Texas, so
Right. Okay. Okay. Any county east of I-45, that's Klan land. The Pinewood areas. Rudim will tell you because he's down here. He's down here with me. If you go anywhere east of I-45, that's Klan land. That's where Vider, that's where Jasper, that's where Marshall, all those, you know, yeah, those are Klan land counties. Sundown towns.
downtowns. Yes,
So
of course, I live in South Carolina, so when you say sundown town, I know
right,
exactly what you're talking about.
right. So when I saw all those ads of calling Rad with his white wife, I knew. I said, why did he put his wife on that campaign commercial with him? You know that's not going to play real outside of the Texas Triangle. Now, when I said Texas Triangle, I'm talking about Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. That's the triangle.
Right.
Anywhere outside that triangle, why would you want to play that ad outside of the triangle area?
You're right. I mean, because down here in South Carolina, Nikki Haley, no one knew what her real name was until she started running for president.
Right.
I mean, I guarantee you, if Charlestonians, in the 3-county area here, which we consider big here, if they would have known her name, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Nimrata or something like that. If they would have saw that name on the ticket, they wouldn't have voted for Nikki Haley down here in Georgetown and up there in Asheville and parts of that. Hey, ABT, what's going on there? How you doing? Hey, Queen Sunkiss. Yeah. But again, Big J, I saw something in chat when I got a count on. So I got to ask you this: what do you think that Trump is going to do about Jack Smith and all these different indictments that's over his head? Now, you think they're all going to be a wash?
Yes. Yes. What's the point now?
Right.
What's the point? I mean, and then what about all the court case against Trump? What y'all gonna do then? Y'all can't sentence him. Hold on. She
Right.
said, hold on. Queen Sunkist said, who was on the campaign ad with his wife? Arad put his white wife on that. When I saw that ad, I was like, bro, you running a close election. Yes, it's cool that you had to. It's cool that you was an NFL player and you got this. I get it. But to sit there and have her on the campaign, not just one campaign ad, at least 3 campaign ads. Because they're playing that shit round the clock for the past month. And I'm sitting there like, you're going to lose this. Everything else he was doing, he was kicking Ted Cruz's ass all over Texas.
Right.
And then he brought his wife on that campaign ad. I said, you could have, if you would have kept that off, he could have won some of these counties on the northeast side. He could have won some of these counties outside of, I said, you know what? I'm done. It's a wrap.
So who do you think didn't vote for him? Black women or white men turned out in drones because they was mad?
White. There was enough white men that was pissed off at Ted Cruz. There was enough white men that would have voted against Ted Cruz. But when I saw that white woman sitting up there holding that Negro's hand, it was
curtains.
It was curtains. They saw that. I said, no, man, we can't have that.
So, but yeah, I know I said I was going to leave, but the conversation it's nice. But so, what do you think, Byron Scott and Byron Donalds and Tim Scott? What do you think their role is going to be in the Trump administration? Because they've been Yassa Bossa for too long now for nothing.
They're going to stay in the House. They're not going to be put out there. They're not going to be in the cabinet or anywhere in the administration.
They're going to be field Negroes or House Negroes.
I think field at this point.
So basically,
Because
Trump will use them when they need to send a message to the Black America. That's the new face of Black America now for young Black
right,
men. Bobby Donalds and this guy Tim Scott.
right. Because Phil Scott, no, not Phil Scott. I'm gonna drag Phil Scott, Phil the Advice show. But anyway, I'm talking about um, Senator Scott, right? Um, his political days is behind him now.
Hmm.
He's done. I mean, nobody, he was trolled to a point he had to marry a woman.
Yeah. So you well, of course they think that was a kind of a rouge and a facade. Of course, living here in South Carolina, I was quite shocked when they said he was getting married. To who? They're going to allow that?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all know down here in South Carolina, he pitching and catching.
I know, and so is what's the name, Graham, Lindsey Graham. Yeah, he's also pitching and catching too.
Yes. That's why Lindsey Graham is so frantic. But they send us that money because he know if Trump didn't get in office, he was going to be exposed. Yes, you're absolutely right. Lindsey Graham is another one of those that pitch and catches under the facade that he's married.
Right. No, he's never been married. What? No,
Right.
no. We got to ask this question: how come Lindsey Graham wasn't forced to be married, but what's the name? What's that senator name? Scott? Yeah, Tim Scott was forced to be married. What is the difference?
That's what I want.
I get it. One is black, the other one is white.
So let's paint that picture of the black man, the wholesome black family. To the see, even you can get you one of these. Is that what they were doing with Tim Scott, Big J?
Yes. I'm going to have to say yes. I'm going to have to say that. I'm going to say that because it's I see it as gaslighting. I see it as political gaslighting. But I'm glad though Professor Scott Galloway mentioned the manosphere because he did. And Professor Scott Galloway said this years ago. Everybody's talking. He just some left wing professor. No, I've been trying to tell people y'all can't connect the dots. Pearly, I had conversations with Just Pearly today. She was over here on this channel. So was Real Femme Sapien. Psychopath atheists would tell you I used to be sparring with Richard Spencer and them on Annie Worski's. Those people are connected to Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Or somewhere near the Trump campaign. And I'm seeing Anton over there. Anton's on Fox News. Tommy's on Fox News, but they're always in our panels.
Okay.
And I keep on trying to tell people, follow the money. Stop trying to have these people on y'all's panels. You know what's going on.
Right. Hey, Lana. Love how you doing. Hey, Big J, another thing, speaking of Professor Galloway, and one of the streams I saw, and maybe it might be the same stream that you was reviewing, but he said that Trump has a 33.7% chance of dying in office.
I actually believe that too.
Yeah.
I actually believe though he's not going to finish his term because look at his mental decline.
It's rapid, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why. Everybody can see Biden's mental decline. Nobody seeing Trump.
And see his, right. It's right there in front of us. I mean, literally, I think, what was it, a speech that he gave last week? He literally almost fell asleep on stage.
Or what about that speech, that Q&A? Instead of doing the Q&A, he started dancing and singing
for 30 minutes.
During the Q&A session. Wait a minute, nobody ain't asking questions. Wait, hold on. I thought we were supposed to have a serious
Grandpa drinking. Right. Grandpa drinking tonight. What's going on here? When did this turn into a party? And that, you're right, Queen Sunkiss. That is the lesser of two evils, right there. He's just now he's just a younger version of Donald Trump. Because I mean, Trump has kind of tucked him under his wing like Roy Cohn did Donald Trump, and he's building this little monster.
Mm-hmm. So,
who is running the country? Who
but
is?
I think the people who are running the country, I think that was Pete Buttigieg was running the country. I think it was Pete. Yeah,
so?
Because Pete was all over. Even though he was Secretary of Transportation, the Secretary of Transportation is down the list, but you're on TV a lot. How many cabinet secretaries is on TV every day and talking about things outside of his preview? Now, the reason, and I know why he's doing it, because that's his only chance, because he's part of the LGBTQ community, and nobody's going to vote for him for president. So that was his only time for him to run shit. While Biden is there, right? He can just go behind Biden. He'll make them TV appearances, be on all these committee hearings. He was talking about racism and foreign policy. Like, bruh, you transportation secretary. You're not secretary of state.
Why would you be talking about that? And it seems to me he would always go on Fox News with the same. Hold on just a second. My bad. With the same, not talking about. Only time I really heard him speaking on anything as far as the infrastructure and transportation is when the bridge collapsed. He made his point, but other than that, he was always speaking. It seems to me on behalf of, I'm using the quotation marks, the president. And
right.
Queen, but we're not ignoring your comment, but you're going to have to wait a couple of days for everything, for all this. How do you call it, Big J? The SBE, the shame, blame, and explain to go on. That way you can. That way you can collect you a nice little a bit tidbit of information, because that's what I do. I tend to sit back and wait a couple of days and gather the information, so they can't go back and say, well, no, I didn't say that. Here it is. So just wait a couple of days. You'll get some valuable information then. Wait a couple of days.
Yeah, because Pete Buttigieg was talking about things that had nothing to do with transportation. Now, yes, though he do talk about transportation, but every so often he'll talk about, yeah, man, I wish Israel stopped doing this. I wish though we can do something about the education system, but there is already a Secretary of Education, but you transportation secretary. So that's why I said Buttigieg is behind all of this.
Can anybody tell me the Secretary of Education off the top of your head?
No, I can't name nobody off the top of my head who's Secretary of Education.
Name me some other prominent cabinet members right now, other than Buttigieg, and what's the guy that's been going over to Israel. Other than that, name me two other cabinet members.
Garland, the Attorney General. Right. That little old woman who said Secretary of Treasury. Let me see. The Secretary of State.
Yeah, and that's who I'm referring to. The guy that's been
I forgot. Lincoln.
Yeah,
Lincoln. Yeah. So
go ahead.
So anybody can name those names.
Right.
Well, who is Postmaster General? Who is who is Homeland Security Secretary? Nobody don't know them names. But Pete Buttigieg, we know him because he's on TV all day.
Okay, well,
right.
Miss, thank you.
Yeah. I know. Like, who is Secretary of Labor? Like, I know that was the woman who used to be governor of Connecticut, but
right.
I'm like, or Commerce or whoever, Commerce or, but
Secretary.
nobody don't know them people like that. Now off the top of my head, I have to think for a minute of who,
Right.
right?
Right. They've never been in the news. They haven't done anything that we can say now. If you just threw one of them at them, saying, "Okay, what have you done for the Department of Education?" We've heard Trump attacking the Department of Education, but why aren't you folks out there defending it?
And Pete Buttigieg is always in TV. He's on
Okay.
Fox, MSNBC's. Yeah, man. The Trump, the Biden administration, we're doing great days out here. But everybody else is silent. So that tells me who's running the show. It's Pete.
It's a fair question. I mean, because again, Queen Sunkiss, you're gonna get you a couple. You're gonna get you a couple days of shame, blame, and explaining, and this question will come up now. I guarantee it'll come up more than this one time here. Who has been really running the country while you've been out campaigning, and we haven't seen the vice president who is really in charge? So those questions will come up.
I've always think it's either Pete Buttigieg or Kamala, but I don't think Kamala is aware. I really don't think though she's aware of Biden's lack of cognitive skills.
Yeah, and it was obvious to me at the debate with Trump when you can tell that he was rehearsing and he was hoping the questions would come to him and it would be natural. But at that age, I wouldn't let my grandpops, in the house by himself at in that age. So I don't understand why we expected Biden or in this case Trump their cognitive abilities to start to decline. I don't know why we don't think that. But one more thing before to point out to you, Big J, the justices, a lot of the Supreme Court justices, dare I say, as they said in life, they're on deck. Trump got 4 more years to point. At least look at some of the ages of the Supreme Court justices. He has the power now to appoint at least 5 to 6 Supreme Court justices. Folks of age.
Yeah. Like he's going to a whole brand new Supreme Court.
It's a whole new, and it's not
at least
right. It's not going to affect us in our 40s and 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's going to affect the generations that's below us because these folks are going to be around for a while.
Yeah, because it's going to be somebody in their 40s come up in there, the late 30s, 40s come up in there, and they're going to stay there until the next 45 years, until they're 90.
Right till they're 90. So how long did pretty much Ginsburg pretty much died in office?
Yeah, she was like what 90 something when she died.
90 something. So think about some of the policies that she enacted in her term that up until Trump now, and until when Trump changes the court, maybe that's one of the things that Biden should have went after was to revamp the court while he had the chance.
And also think that there's a possibility he might pack the court. He might add more members to the Supreme Court.
Yes, he can. Yes.
I mean, he has the Senate to do it. He has the Senate and the House to do it.
It's a clean sweep, folks.
Yeah.
So somebody in the chat down there said, "How are we coping? We don't have no choice. You got to cope. You don't have a choice. You do not have a choice." America, the whole of America, spoke volumes last night. We would much rather have a convicted felon, misogynistic white man in office than a woman with a clean record. That's bottom line. That's bottom line to it.
So are we going to have an inauguration or a coronation? I actually, it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be a coronation.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. On inauguration day, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be nuts.
Because think about this: Trump can't run anymore. Even if he is successful at this term, he can't run anymore. If he lives out this whole term, he cannot run for office again.
Right.
That's just bottom line to it. So what would make him? If we've seen him being unhinged, so in the last years of his life. Because he's 82, many 100-year-old folks in a, you know. So they're usually being pushed by somebody or escorted by somebody. So let's figure Donald Trump maybe has 3 more good years of good cognitive reasoning about it. Who's going to run the country then? Fellas, this is who y'all putting on.
You know, he's probably going to. It might be Vance or his son.
One of his sons.
Yeah, one of his sons is going to be become the king. You know, the what's it called? Behind the drone, the power behind the drone.
Right. Power behind the drone. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So look for Donald Jr. and what is the other son name? They'll behind the scenes. But I tell you one thing, it won't be Ivanka. It won't be Jared Kushner.
No, it won't be.
It won't be them. It won't be them because they're gonna get pushed out. You know. So yeah.
Yeah, he's not. I think if he's not, what Trump is 79 now. He'll be 82 if he successfully wins this term in office. So he got one foot on the grave, on another one on the banana peel there, JD. Sure does. I don't wish any harm to no man because that's not my moral fortitude. I don't wish no harm on him. But life is life. Father Time, Father Time plays with nobody.
Mm-hmm. So we might be welcoming President J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance.
And I'm actually scared of who is going to replace J.D. Vance as senator. And I think I know who's going to replace J.D. Vance as senator.
Mm-hmm.
Vince Swally. Vince Swally.
That's just as bad.
Right. Yeah. Or worse. I actually think Swami's what's his name? Swami, whatever name is. Vince,
yeah, I don't know.
But I can't even pronounce the name. Yeah, but he's far worse than
he's
Vance
worse.
Or even Trump.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He's one of them. He's one of them ambitious kind of fools.
Right. So
he likes to talk.
All he is Donald Trump, but younger and browner. That's all.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. But Big J, man, let me get on up out of here. Got some running around to do. I appreciate you having me up on the platform. But folks, it's just my last thing to you folks out there that's listening. Somebody asked me this morning what we're going to do now. I don't know. I have no idea what we're going to do now. We got to wait and see.
Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to bed. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to bed and wake up because it's sunny outside right now. I'm just going to enjoy it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy what the good Lord provided. And that's all I'm going to do right now. You know,
that's all we can do right now. Go out and catch some sun, get some vitamin D up off in you, folks.
Right, because it's sunny outside. It was raining like hell 2 days ago.
It rained here yesterday. It rained here yesterday too. It's pretty sunny outside. Got some business to get into out there. Hey, but what kind of animals you got on your property there, Big J? I hear you speaking on it sometimes.
Cows. I'm looking at them right now, eating hay and shit. They eating hay right there. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Go out, just go to sleep, wake up, go to work, and go on about my business. That's what I'm going.
Right.
and I'm gonna go to the local Democrat, the local county Democrats. I'm gonna sit back in that corner, just like what happened. Right, because I remember after when Hillary lost, oh my God, it was bad. They was arguing. They was man. I'm gonna go over there and hang out over there and see what's happening.
They might they might let you in, but anyway, take your phone with you because I like that. I think that's what I'm going to do because one of the local representatives that I back, he won his local election, so I'm going to meet with him later on today to see what he thinks about that.
And Mary Brown lost. Mary Brown lost his election. Right.
Right.
Yeah. One of the Maniser dudes
Wasn't he in Georgia? Wasn't he running for some seat in
Yeah,
Georgia?
Georgia House District 81.
Right, there you have it.
It
There you have
and
it, bro.
so he lost his election, and them niggas was after him last week. No. You heard that GMT was sending his opponent some of the YouTube videos he made over here.
Yeah,
Calling Taz a crackhead. I'm like,
yeah,
come on.
yeah. I saw that. No, I rock with GMT from time to time, but I think he stepped over the line a little bit on that one. I mean, if somebody wanted to find out some dirt on him, don't assist the brother. Let him do what he do. It seems to me GMT took that shit just a little bit too personal.
Yeah, but Mary Brown lost, so I don't even like Amiri. It's just because he rubs me off the wrong way. But I was kind of hoping he made it. A part of me,
Yeah,
I was hoping he would made it in, because at least it would be interesting how somebody from this space would have won
you're
public
right.
office, and then it'd be kind of
It,
funny to
yeah, it
see
would
the
have been
reaction.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what have been looking for, the reaction. We already know what the reaction was going to be if he lost. See,
right.
you see there, you going over there. You thought you was somebody, but I wonder what the reaction would have been if he would have won. But
Though, but it's always 2026.
yeah,
He can
try again, brother.
he
Try again.
yeah.
Try again, Amari. Again, you never know. Just
And
keep
that
trying.
and that district is a swing district. That
Yeah,
is a swing district, because
it was going to be
it's
him to win
50-50
that
split.
district anyway. It was going to be kind of rough, especially if this is real time in politics, right, Paul?
Hmm.
Yeah. So
That was the first time. Yeah. So
yeah,
the first time is always, I heard, is
right.
the worst.
Always
So
the worst. Even Michael Jordan didn't make it the first time out, bro. So
right.
dust yourself off, get back up, and prepare yourself for the next election cycle. That's all. That's the best you can do, bro. And
Right. So
keep up the good fight, as John Lewis said.
right. So anyway, I appreciate you jumping on here.
I
This
appreciate
is
you
DA
having me,
Music.
bro.
So
It's always a pleasure talking to you, bro. And like I told you, man, you got content to offer. So it's good when you come on over, and when you allow me up and I hear you speaking like this. It's good to
all
see you,
right.
man. Appreciate
All
you.
right. Hold on. A bit Ty said what?
Yeah,
Wait, what? I didn't see that. What are you talking about?
what
Is
happened?
she, is she talking about what Grandmaster Troll did to Mary? You didn't see that? He did like what,
Where
four
you been?
videos?
Where you been? Where you been, miss?
Yeah, he contacted the opponent.
Right, and told the local to send somebody he was was threatening him online and all kind of other stuff like that. GMT went all out, and held a stream about it. This is what I did. You can't do nothing. This is free speech.
Yeah, he did that.
Sure did.
Yeah, because somebody sent me a message. Are you watching Grandmaster Troll? Said no, I'm not even sub. I'm not sub to this channel. And I told people why I don't sub to this channel. But I was like, I'm looking at the video and say, wait a minute, he did 3 videos?
3.
And I'm watching, yeah, he did 3 live streams doing that shit. And I'm sitting there like, bruh. Hold on, you breaking up a bit.
I'm breaking up a little bit.
Yeah,
Turn.
yeah, you good. Well, and then, and what made matters worse, that Amiri showed up over there. That made it worse. It was made worse when Mary showed up over there twice. That was like, bro, you shouldn't even say anything.
You shouldn't have said nothing. Sometimes it's as I tell you a lot, the discretion be the better part of valor. To Mary just stirred up a can of bees over there.
Hold on, I'm back. I did a live in a Rumble video. This shit's wild. Yeah, it is. Oh, she said Amiri called GMT's job. Really? Yeah. That's what I heard too.
Oh,
So,
well, GMT, I didn't know that. If he called your job to
Well,
try to
I- well,
get, hey, shit,
okay. I mean,
right,
I stand corrected. Then
right.
I stand corrected. So
Yes, indeed. If you
if Mary did that, I stand corrected.
that's right. If you're gonna throw punches, you can't tell a fella how to throw one back at you.
Shit.
That's for damn sure.
Shit. I listen. I stand corrected on that. If because she said Mary called his job. You know what? I stand corrected. Then
Yes.
therefore GMT had to do it then. So
Yeah.
but
That part I did not know. So GMT, if you did 3, 4, 5, 600 streams on him, once a man try to cut into your livelihood, I can understand.
right. I'm lead down alone now.
I ain't got nothing else to say about it, bro. My bad. I'm backing up out the door on that one. No,
Yeah.
no, Miss May, he didn't.
Nope. Nope. The answer is no. No, he did not. He lost about what? I want to say at least five apprentices. Oh, I gotta look. I gotta go back. Yeah, but he lost. He lost.
Yeah.
You know.
All right,
Was
then,
that
big.
before?
Yeah.
All right.
Let me get on up out of here, bro. I appreciate you having me up there. Keep up the good work, bro. I'll holler at you soon.
All right then. All right then.
Sure.
You have a good one. You have a
Sure,
good
man.
one. Was that before or after? Let me say. I'm trying to remember. Was it before or after? I want to say it was kind of somewhat. Yeah. Queen said. Wo says a Queen after GMT did the first video. Amiri called his job, and that red wife. I said if you ain't white and male, you catching hell. Well, I'm gonna take my black ass to bed, y'all. We're gonna have a very interesting few months. We're gonna have a very interesting few months. Um, I'm gonna say to these people when qualified immunity happens, I'm gonna tell these same Negroes like Kwame Brown. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna tag Kwame Brown. I'm gonna tag Field the Advice Show. I'm gonna tag all these Nebas who was backing Trump. If they pass a quantified what's it called immunity, I'm gonna tell y'all, hey, don't say shit to me. Hold on. You know, everybody gonna say what Big J has to say. Well, yeah. 100 people was watch my last live stream. They're like, damn, okay. But like I said, Scott Galloway warned y'all for years that this was about to happen. So yeah, I think Trump is going to start following the Project 2025 plan. Yeah. I actually believe that. I actually believe it. But anyway, I'm gonna jump on off of here. Y'all be easy, and I'll see y'all next time. I gotta go to sleep. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.